Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Alright, what's up everybody? I figured I would do a live check-in. I haven't done one of these in a while. Also, I was too lazy to record a video and edit it. This is simpler and easier than actually recording and editing videos. I do all my editing myself, so it's a lot of work. I figured I'd get some questions in to talk to you guys one-on-one and answer any questions. Anyway, what I'm going to do is update you on where I am at with my progress, my plans for competing, my cycle, my diet. We'll go through all that stuff, and you can stop and ask questions along the ways if you have them. I also want to give everybody a heads up. There is a scammer page to be on the lookout for. That's Paul K. Barnett, although I think they misspelled my name. It's Bennett. Everybody misspells my last name, and they're charging people to join my fat loss group. I do not have a paid Facebook group, so if you find me or you get messaged by somebody with me, it's not me. I've had this happen multiple times on Meta. It's funny, they censor my stuff all the damn time, but then they won't take down fake pages. I report the pages, I report them as fake, and then they get back to me like 2 days later and they said they didn't find anything that violated community guidelines. I'm like, motherfucker, it's fake. It's not me. They're scammers. That doesn't violate your community guidelines, but my shit does. Oh man, it's so frustrating dealing with these platforms. I'm sure it's their AI doing it. It's not actually them. But anyway, just be on the lookout for that. So, yeah, see. White boy said, I knew it wasn't you. They misspelled it. Yeah, there's a couple different pages they put up. They went after it. What's up, Roger? What's up, JJOV? Hi, Amy. Amy was at the Arnold Classic with us. We just got back from there this weekend. I spent Friday and Saturday all day at the expo. It's a long, long day. I'm sleeping now. See you all later, Jonas. Total science. Hell yeah, perfect timing for me. Thanks, Paul. Anyway, let's take a look at my progress stuff. I want to get you guys in on this. Anyway, where I'm at right now, my shoulder's fucked. I don't know a better way to put it. I went to the orthopedic surgeon, got my MRI done, and found out that I have basically a partially torn everything. I have a partially torn labrum, a partially torn supraspinatus. I have a partially torn bicep tendon. I have a bone spur, and I have some cysts in a mildly arthritic joint. And the prognosis was that eventually I am going to need a shoulder replacement. He said that there was still some cartilage left in my joint, but not a ton. They actually thought it was worse than what it was before the MRI. So that was the good news. The arthritis is not as bad as what they thought it was going to be. But he told me that he's seriously concerned about me having a bicep tendon rupture. So I need to go in and have surgery to fix that. So I'm going to get everything cleaned up. He said the hope is that it would buy me another, I don't know, 5 to 7 years before I need a shoulder replacement. I'm okay with that. But that means no Tampa Pro this year. That means no competing this year. Honestly, my head has not been in the game since my bodybuilding show. Since I won my pro card, it was really weird winning my pro card. I I don't know. I kind of felt a little lost there for a while. Like I've had a purpose for the last 5 years. My goal was to get my pro card, and the God's honest truth, it kind of happened faster than I thought it was going to. I didn't really didn't I honestly I didn't expect the pro card, but it happened. I won it overall. It happened, and then afterwards, I was kind of like, what do I do next? I'm sitting here, just it was a big exhale, and I just kind of fucked off for the last 6 months. I'll be honest with you, 6, 7 months. I guess it's been 7 months now. I've been half-ass following a diet. Not like I'm eating terrible, but I'm not eating great either. I'm not weighing and measuring everything. Um, I They're talking about Amy's cookies. Yes, I eat plenty of Amy's cookies at the Arnold Classic. Um, what's up, Karina? Um, yeah, so that's kind of where I was at. I've been training. I love to get in the gym. I'm always in the gym, and that's been the really frustrating part with the shoulder injury is it's gotten to the point where I cannot train 100%. I can only go about 70% in the gym, and that does not make training enjoyable. I like to go hard when I'm in the gym. I like to lift hard, and when I have to hold back and be worried about hurting anything, that's not fun. Um, anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. Right now, my vitals, I am at a fasted weight. I've just been 250 pretty much for the last since my show. Well, I weighed in. My daytime weight at the show was 250. I think my fasted weight was like 244. That's what I weighed in at the show. So I'm only up about 5 pounds, 6 pounds from my show weight. I don't ask me how, because my diet has not been 100%. People always ask me how tall I am. I'm 6'1 3/4". My blood pressure's been like 120/70ish. What's up, Chris? Um, yeah, yeah, Brian says, I'm in a similar situation. Turned pro at the same show. I hurt my shoulder 2 weeks before my qualifier. It's still not right, but hopefully compete another season or two. Yeah, dude, my shoulder was fucked up during the prep. I knew it was fucked up, and I took Winstrol, and that made it even more fucked up. Uh, I don't know. I was just my hope was I just want to hang on. I wasn't even training 100% on prep. I was kind of half-assed in my training. So does that stupid Facebook group stealing your pics or videos? Yeah, they stole everything. They have all kinds of shit on my shit duplicated over there. Fucking scam artists. Um, anyway, yeah, so I don't know. I also been dealing with some other health stuff. I am type 1B diabetic. I've been more open about talking about that this past year. I wasn't very open about it before. I've been this way a long time. It runs in my family. Everybody in my family is diabetic. And I did a terrible, terrible job managing my diabetes over the last 6 months. I really didn't eat a lot. So I thought, or at least I convinced myself, if I wasn't eating a lot, I didn't need to take insulin. And I wasn't paying attention to my blood glucose levels. And I went in for my blood panels and physical last month, and my A1C was at 10.6, which is atrocious. Just horrible. I did a video a few weeks back reviewing my blood work if you want to check it out. Project Bodybuilding. Hey, Paul, I'm still enjoying the content, bro. Get better soon. Thanks, man. Um, Rambo. Apparently, gummy bears are anabolic for shoulder injuries if they're THC gummies. Yes, they are. Anyway, so that's where I'm at. I got to get shoulder surgery. I think is April 22nd. So I got about a little over a month, 5, 6 weeks until shoulder surgery. He told me that it would be 4 to 5 weeks in a sling, another 3 to 4 months, um, another 3 to 4 months of recovery before I can go back to lifting 100%. With enough Serostim and Anavar, I'm hoping for 2 or 3 months. Linus, I thought Paul was taller and heavy. No, that's where I'm at. I get up, sometimes in the off season, I'll get up to 270, 280. I've been as high as 300 before, but I was just too fat at 300. That's another thing that I am working on now, or trying to figure out now, is where I want to compete as a pro, what class. Um, what does it say? I recommend you delete your post talking about skip it. They will download that, re-edit it, and put it to their page and make it look. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you're right, man. I didn't even think about that. Well, hell, I was trying to help people out. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I worked in information security. I should know this stuff. Yeah, maybe I will take it down. Okay. Good point, GMS. Yeah, so I am trying to figure out where I want to compete as a pro. Do I want to stay in bodybuilding or do I want to go back down to classic? I think I want to go down to classic because there's a higher weight cap in bodybuilding and classic in the pros. It's 242 in the pros, whereas in the NPC it was 232. I would have to drop 18 pounds on my stage weight to get down to classic, which just it wasn't feasible. But in the pros, 242 is more doable. If I'm going to compete in the open, even in the masters, I'm going to have to get bigger. I'm going to have to get up to probably 265, 270 stage weight. And I just don't know at my age that that's intelligent, smart, or healthy. So maybe it's more supportable for me to go down to classic and just do the B242, max out the classic class. I feel like that would probably be safer for me health wise. And I would be able, I can maintain, like right now, you'll see my pictures in a second. I have been pretty much just running. I've had a couple little small cycles, just like little 6 weeks, like running 600 milligrams a test. Nothing crazy. But I've been mostly just on cruising the last 6 months. Bodybuilding TRT, 300 milligrams a test is mostly. Mostly with where I'm at. So we'll see. We'll see. So anyway, before we go on, I do have the Building Effective Cycles cheat sheet. I just want to remind you guys that is on my website. It's half off. There's a link to it in the video description below. It's $30. It's 30 pages of awesomeness. If you haven't picked it up, I think you'll really enjoy it. That is legit. That's not a scam. All right, where I'm at right now. I took these pics this morning. I shaved down my body hair. I wanted to see where my body composition is at. You can definitely see where my body composition isn't as crisp, but you can see where I'm a little bit softer from what I was on prep. I'm not as full as I was, but I think all in all, for being injured, for a half-ass following a diet, for not really being on much as far as PEDs, I've held up pretty well. I carry all my fat in my back. You'll see that in a second. I stay lean up front. I don't know. It's just the way I'm put together. My legs always stay lean. My legs never get fat. Side from the side, you can see got a little bit of fat on my waist, at the bottom of my waist. A little bit of fat on my lower back. And I got the old man lower back. Legs and hamstrings are still pretty lean. Anyway, but that's where I'm at right now. And I honestly, it's funny because when I have all this body hair, I can't tell where I'm at. And I shave down. I'm like, oh, better than I thought. I didn't expect to look that good. Yeah, I just, I didn't expect to look like that. Okay. So what do we got next here? I'll skip this. The science PEDs. We have the e-course up to Kurt Havens and I have that as well. I don't want to make this a big sales pitch. Anyway, diet right now. I am back on more of a structured diet. This is not a Justin Harris approved diet, by the way. This is just something I'm doing on my own. Justin's still my coach, but I know he's busy. I haven't been bothering him because he's busy. He's got a lot going on. He was just coaching Brandon Curry at the Arnold. There's nothing really to check in with. I'm not really doing anything right now, so I can manage that. I'll need him on contest prep. Nothing's changed there. Brian Daniel, you have a great waist for classic. Yeah, I think I could pull it off. I just need to improve my posing. My posing is kind of mediocre. I need to learn how to pose like a classic guy. Okay, so where I'm at right now with my diet, I am running medium days, zone lifting days, and I'm only doing really one high day per week. I have 2 down here. My calories are pretty low right now. My calories are actually higher on contest prep, but it's weird with me. When I push the gear up, my metabolism spins up with the gear, and I need to eat more food to keep up with it. When I'm not taking all the gear, I don't need as much food. In reality, my calories are probably higher than this because I do not count trace macros. These are direct macros. So I don't count the fat that's in the protein. I don't count the fat that's in the carbs or the protein that's in the carbs, blah, 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 blah. So there's probably another 200-300 calories in here. My medium days, I'm eating something like probably 3,500 calories, just being realistic about it. I'm doing 275 grams of protein, 300 grams of carbs. 42 grams of added fat. That added fat comes from sources such as flax oil, fish oil, avocados, nuts. I try to get in EFAs, omega-3s, omega-6s. One high day per week. Sometimes I'll run 2. It just depends. I've been a little hesitant to do the high days because of my blood sugar being out of control. Now that I am back on taking my insulin and keeping track of it, things have been back in check. They've been okay. I'm just an idiot. I'm really a moron for not thinking I would be okay not taking my insulin. That's probably why I didn't gain any weight. If anybody knows anything about a type 1 diabetic, you can't gain weight if you don't take your insulin, and then you end up with really high blood sugar because your body can't do anything with it, etc. So my high day is around 800 grams of carbs. Realistically, this says 725, but it's probably closer to 800. And I do a cheat meal after this, so probably closer to 5,000-6,000 calories on my high days. I have been every other week. I have been doing a 24-hour fast on my. I do 1 low day per week. I'm not doing this every week. Essentially, my medium days are pretty much the same as my low days at this point, but I have been doing the 24-hour fast. Let's see. Eric says, "Hey, Paul, have a great day. Love the show. Thank you, man." At Ryan, are you still running the Reddit? Yeah, I'll talk about that in just a second. Jason Primavera, are you doing another show? Yeah, if I can get myself healthy after the shoulder injury, and if I think I can do, I don't want to. I honestly, I don't feel like a pro until I've competed as a pro. I just, I hate to be the guy who gets his pro card and hangs it up. I really love competing. I enjoy it. There's some people that just do it because they're trying to prove something. I don't care about winning. I just love contest prep. I love competing. I love having a goal to work towards. I just enjoy it. I'm a weirdo. Honestly, I feel lost when I don't have a goal that I'm working on. Let's see, what did Brian say? You mentioned titrating doses up in other videos. At what rate and duration do you typically titrate doses? I just kind of let how my body's responding dictate that. If I'm making progress and everything is rolling, I'll just leave it alone. And if food doesn't get it done, if training doesn't get it done, then I'll push the doses up a bit. I'm really kind of come back full circle. There is a time to mash the gas pedal down. I'll just say that. The top guys that are on the Olympus stage, the guys that are saying, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I saw a top 5 competitor recently saying he was only running 600 tests. I'm like, yeah, okay, dude. Like I fucking believe that. He might be running 600 tests when he's cruise. That he didn't do that to put on the size that he put on. That's not how you get that big. But you certainly can maintain on not much. I mean, I'm holding up pretty well. Still have 20-inch arms on 300 milligrams of test. So you can maintain on pretty low dose, but you're not going to grow. You're not going to go into a show. They're definitely not doing that on contest prep. They're throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it. What's up, SL Hendricks? All right. Anyway, on from the diet stuff. This is it's kind of hard to see. I wanted to share with you. I've been tracking my blood glucose, my fasting blood glucose. and you guys can see what it's been. I've been, it's kind of hiding in here. You can't really see it. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Here we go. You can see what's going on. Um, Here we go. You can see what's going on better here. All right, so this is where I'm at. I've been tracking for the last 2 weeks. I was at the Arnold. I didn't track anything when I was at the Arnold. I was so fucking busy. I was working like 13-hour days. Karina and Amy were there with me. So they know there were long days. Anyway, you can see where my blood sugar has been at and what I've been taking. Lantus, around between 20 and 25 units a day. Some days I use Humalog as needed. Only as needed. If I'm pushing the carbs up or if I see my glucose is not getting back where it needs to be, I'll push it up. But for the most part, it's been back down below, I don't know, most days it's been 100 or below. It was high on Monday when I got back from the Arnold Classic. I ate a few too many of Amy's cookies, and I forgot to take my insulin and metformin. I forgot to take both. I don't, the doctor wants me on metformin. I don't know fucking why, because I don't have an insulin sensitivity issue, but it's what she wants. It makes no difference. I've taken it and not taken it. It doesn't change my glucose levels or A1C at all. But I tried to explain it to her that it's not an issue with insulin sensitivity. I'm 10% body fat. I'm not insulin resistant. But anyway, I guess, it's not going to hurt throwing it in there. So you can see what I'm running here. But yeah, for the most part, it's been back down close to normal. I've been throwing some cardio back in. I really fucking hate doing cardio, but I know it's beneficial. So like 5 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 20 minutes or so. I'm getting like something like 8,000 steps a day. I'm pretty sedentary. I sit on my ass all day long. What's up, Jay Englert? How are you doing, big man? Did you at least have some fun at the Arnold? The Arnold was work. It was a job. But I did enjoy meeting everybody. There was a ton of people there that were fans of the show. I was there with Chase, with Kurt, Karina, Amy, Colin. Several of my clients came and hung out, which was great to see my clients. I wish I had more time to spend with some of my clients. I feel guilty that I couldn't give them more attention, but I was just overwhelmed with other people that wanted to talk to me. But the whole reason, we weren't there to sell anything. I gave away $5,000 worth of t-shirts for free. I couldn't believe how fast those things flew off the table. They were gone in like 2 hours. People were asking me where to get the anabolic bodybuilding t-shirts. I gave them away. So anyway, yeah, at some point I'll have them up for sale. I don't right now. Current PEDs. This is where I'm at right now with the PEDs. Dropped from 600 tests down to 300. I ran a little cycle just so I didn't look like trash going into the Arnold. It was just like a 6-week cycle. I did 600 tests, 200 Primo, 200 Mast. I haven't been running GH lately. Sorry, my lips are dry. Since I found out that my A1C was high, I just wanted to play around with not running the GH and see how my body responds and see if it helps lower my glucose levels. GH doesn't directly make you insulin resistant, but it does shift you from glucose metabolism to lipid metabolism, and that indirectly will raise. It's a temporary effect for the most part. That will raise glucose levels in the term. Did you get the itch to get up on the stage? Shit, I'd get smoked by the guys there. Maybe on the amateur level I could hang, but I definitely wouldn't hang on the pro level. If I were 20 years younger and had been smarter and not a dumbass, I could have maybe been up there at some point when I was younger, but I wasted my youth on other follies, not bodybuilding. How important are eating veggies with the diet? I mean, in an ideal world, you should eat veggies for fiber. I don't know how much micronutrients are in them anymore because the soil's so depleted these days. There's probably not a whole lot in the veggies, but I'll be honest with you, I really do not eat veggies very rarely. I have IBS, or I battle with IBS right now. It's under control. And it seems like anytime I eat veggies, I'm just asking for trouble. So I take a fiber supplement at night before I go to bed. And I also supplement in micronutrients to make up for the veggies. Let's see here. How do you, Chris Galbo, how do you like running both Primo and Mass versus Primo, with just the test score? This is something I've been doing for a while now. I haven't really seen anybody else do it, but I've noticed more people copying it now. I'm not trying to take credit for running Mass and Primo together. I'm not trying to pull a Victor Black here and pretend I invented an idea that was already out there. But I really hadn't seen anybody else do it. They were running one or the other. Here's my thought process with Mass and Primo. I know there's all this big debate, Mass versus Primo. It's so stupid. You just take whatever works for you. It doesn't really fucking matter. They're very similar. They're both DHT derived, but they do have some key differences. Primobolan has a metabolite that acts like a suicide aromatase inhibitor. So if you are a high estrogen converter and you want to keep your estradiol under control, Primobolan is a way to do it, potentially without taking an aromatase inhibitor. So you're using an anabolic to control your estrogen with. I like that idea. I tend to convert estrogen at a high rate. I get very nasty side effects from high estrogen. I do not like to run my estrogen super high. I also will run a little bit of Masteron with it too. Masteron acts like a serum. Masteron isn't as anabolic as Primobolan. Primobolan seems to be a stronger anabolic. Primobolan seems to keep you fuller. Masteron seems to have a stronger effect on the mineral glucocorticoid receptor, where it causes you to flush fluid. So if you have trouble retaining water in the off season, it will potentially help with that. So that's sort of my thought process. I'll run a little bit of both. I know sometimes if you go too crazy with the Primobolan, you can smash your estrogen. Although I found Equipoise to be worse at smashing estrogen than Primobolan, so that's sort of my thought process. Jay Engler, biceps look big and vascular. Yeah, I don't know how. I really haven't been doing much. I was Philip Fuller. I was there at the Arnold on Saturday. It was my first ever. Unfortunately, I missed out on catching you. Man, dude, there were like over 100,000 people there. It's really hard to catch everybody. Yeah, just add fiber. Hey, Paul, I've been monitoring my blood glucose levels recently, usually falling between 75 and 90 throughout the day. My fasting glucose is around 100. Yeah, it's this thing called the dawn effect. I see it a lot in bodybuilders. Probably what's happening is you're going hypo at some point during the night. If you got a continuous glucose monitor, you probably see it. And your liver will dump glycogen. Glucagon causes your liver to dump glycogen before you wake to keep you from going hypo while you're asleep and dying. And you end up with a little bit higher blood glucose when you're awake. As long as your A1C is normal, it's nothing to be worried about. Anyway, estrogen management right now on my cycle, none. Peptides, I am going to start running GH again. I'm going to go with six units every other day. Somebody was asking me about that today. Why? There is no reason why. I'm just experimenting right now. Sorry, I got the hiccups. Experimenting right now to see what effect it has on my glucose levels, if any. I'm just playing around with shit. Lantus is at 20 units a day. Retatrutide 1 milligram every 5th day. People are also asking me why I'm running retatrutide every 5 days. What I have found, I've been running retatrutide for about 2 months now. It seems that the appetite suppressing effects I notice my appetite starts coming back at about after the 5th day. So I'm just taking it every 5 days. There's no real logic to it beyond that. Brian, let's see. Brian here said, would you recommend a second cycle total androgen level? First ended up with 450. I mean, I wouldn't run 3 compounds on a first cycle. I only run 1 to see how you react. I would just titrate up. If you're making progress, leave everything alone. If you're not, then just gently titrate up, maybe like 100 milligrams at a time, something like that. Paul, have you seen GH elevate prolactin slightly? I have not. I'm not sure that it can do that. It maybe if you have a pituitary tumor. I don't know. Don't know about that. Can I run test E at 250 in Anavar and T-ball, Turinabol? Sure, you can do anything you want. I probably wouldn't do that. I would do one oral at a time. Just pick one. And I wouldn't run them for more than 6 weeks, or you're going to end up with a single-digit HDL. Oh, as a cutting cycle. Yeah, usually the way I structure cutting cycles, I would start off with something like Tast and Masteron, and then I'll put in the oral like the last 6 weeks. No insulin or HGH, by the way. Yeah, I have no idea, man. Thank you for the answers on veggies. In the same way, I get awful gas and bloating. Yeah, you need to look at the FODMAP list. There are a lot of veggies that are high FODMAP and will make you bloated and gassy, so just keep an eye out for that. Since I changed to low glycemic, high fiber foods, my blood pressure dropped 30 points in 2 weeks. Ever heard? Yeah, it probably means that your blood, when your glucose levels, your blood sugar levels get too high, your blood pressure will increase. So that's probably what's going on there. It's also too. It's possible that those foods were high sodium foods, so it might not even be the sugar. Whatever the foods you were eating might have had too much sodium in them. Just do what Chase does and take all the steroids. That's what I did on contest prep, and it worked. I was running 3 grams on contest prep. Joe Blow, doctor wants to put me on TRT, but I have a bit of high BP. Don't know if it's a good idea. Could TRT lower blood pressure? It depends on what's causing your blood pressure. There's multiple things that could cause high blood pressure. It could be vasoconstriction. It could be water retention. It could be central nervous system stimulation. You could have stiffened arteries. There's multitudes of reasons that could cause high blood pressure. If it's lower dose testosterone you're going on, it's going to increase water retention through stimulation of the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. Androgens will do that. Also, estrogen causes additional water retention. So if your blood pressure gets increased because of water retention issues, it is going to have an effect on aldosterone and cause additional water retention. So most of the time you may need a blood pressure med or potentially an aromatase inhibitor to help deal with that. Res 41, that's red as half-life 5 days. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I thought I read 7 days. All right, well, there I go, intuitively figured it out. I'm looking good, Paul. A lot of us 35 years in here with a shame. Thanks, man. What do we got here? Atlantis gave me a ravenous appetite. Yeah, insulin can do that. Followed by fatty liver and 30-pound weight gain. Well, your diet must have sucked if you gained that much from using insulin. Zana, curious if I might eat 3 ounces of chicken at 3 a.m. or overnight hunger. I do log for the day, but just the past day I started a few hours currently cut. I mean, sure, it's hard to get fat eating protein. It's not going to hurt, I don't think. All right, let's go on to the next slide here. I'll get to some more questions here in a minute. My current health supplement stack for glucose management, I take berberine on. I actually am taking it every day right now, 1,500 milligrams. I use Justin's Troponin Nutrition Suppressor Max supplement. I take a whole food multivitamin 2 times a day. I use Thorne. They have a really good whole food multivitamin. 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C, 5,000 units of vitamin D, 500 milligrams of magnesium glycinate. Make sure you get glycinate if you get magnesium. Otherwise, you're going to have an ass explosion. Your butt's going to explode on the toilet. Cardiovascular health, 3,000 milligrams of fish oil, 2,000 milligrams of flax oil, 100 milligrams of quinol CoQ10. I'm on a statin, so you definitely need that if you're on a statin. 1,200 milligrams of citrus bergamot, 1,200 milligrams of red rice yeast extract. Everybody asks me, why are you on a statin? Why don't you take citrus bergamot and red rice yeast extract? I'm already taking them. Milk thistle and tucca for the liver. Occasionally I'll sprinkle NAC in if I need it, and AC. Kidney support, I use the product from First Detachment Renal Reset. I'm going to check out, I had Will on from Leviathan Nutrition. I'm going to check out his Straglicide 4 product. I forget the name of it that he has. I'm going to order some. Let's see, digestion. Right now, I do take digestive enzymes sometimes, and I take psyllium husk fiber at night. So that's what I'm doing for digestion. I notice when I'm not taking orals and my PED doses are lower, my digestive issues seem to go away. Okay. Let's move on here. RX meds, the prescription drugs that I'm on currently, Telmisartan at 40 milligrams, although my doctor wants to change me back to lisinopril. I don't know. I might be open to it. Telmisartan doesn't seem to be as effective as lowering blood pressure as lisinopril does, although the ACE inhibitors tend to give me a dry cough. I find ARBs are better tolerated. Rosuvastatin at 10 milligrams. Man, I made a video about statins, and holy shit, I think half the internet lost their damn mind about statins. Bros are crazy when it comes to letting their cholesterol run wild. You would have thought that I had called their grandma a bad name when I told them that if you have high cholesterol, you might want to consider a statin. I didn't say that you should. I should have said you should talk to your doctor about it. And Jesus Christ, man, everybody lost their fucking mind. Nabivolol, it's funny that bros get upset about a statin, but they'll take every experimental peptide known to man. I had so many dudes tell me, well, just take cardarine. They'll take a statin. It's, cardarine is known carcinogen, whereas it's just not that effective at lowering your LDL or raising your HDL. I'm not saying everybody needs a statin, but that shit just drove me nuts. People. Nabivolol, I take 5 milligrams of nabivolol. That is a selective beta blocker. It's a beta 1 agonist. I think that's correct. Beta 1. Metformin, 500 milligrams a day. I don't know why my doctor wants me on it, but, whatever. Let's see here. Brian, it was some clarification here. My titration question was more about your example you have from going from 600 to 300. How fast did you reduce by? Oh, I just cut it in half when I reduce. It's going to, the drug halves every, whatever the half-life is. So if you're at 600 milligrams of test, it's going to half in a week, and then it's going to half again, and then it's going to half again before it comes back down. Yeah, so it's naturally going to try to titrate down anyway. So I typically don't. Let's see, CGNL evolved. If you're one of the only few that pretty much reduces estrogen at small doses, what anabolic would you use? Some people have are very low estrogen converters. You could consider. You probably are not going to want to use EQ or Primo. Masteron should be a safer bet, or you could even do Deca or D-Bol if you're a low estrogen converter. If you're holding fluid in your lower legs on Metatrip blacktops, is there a protocol or something you could be doing differently to alleviate it? Start on a low dose, titrating up for 2. I would take a look at your diet. You might be eating too much sodium, not getting enough potassium in. It could be some sort of hyperaldosteronism going on. You may need to address that. Generally, what I've seen with the growth hormone is that the water retention starts initially and then it balances out, it levels out in a few weeks. Rose, what's the timeline for negative impacts from antibiotics in terms of enzymes and lipids? 5 milligrams a day for 4 weeks. Best I've ever looked. Don't quote me on this, but there was a study, it's an old study, I think it was from the 60s, maybe the 50s, I don't remember, where they had people on, I think it was up to 20 milligrams of Anavar for months and months and months on end, and there was no negative effect on liver values. I would be more concerned about HDL. The liver's pretty resilient. I'm not encouraging you to take Anavar for months on end, but I will say this, I did take Anavar for a year straight one time. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but I did do it, and this was a long time ago. I'm still here. Um, Michael, how do I come up with numbers for carb intake on carb cycling? I have several videos up on how to structure carb cycling diet. You can go look at those. But general rule of thumb, medium days are usually like two. I start off around two times your body weight. High days, three. It can go even higher. Low days, depending on what your body composition. Sometimes I go zero. Um, sometimes I go to one. Um, Smash that like button, folks. This content's for free. Yeah, it's funny. I had a dude giving me shit in the comment section. If you're out there, bro, this message is for you. He was giving me shit because he said that I should be giving away my e-course and my ebook for free because all the information is already on my YouTube channel for free. I'm sorry, dude. You're POS if you think that. I work. This is my full-time job. I give away a ton of information free for everybody. Literally, I do this for free. If it just look at it this way: if you want to support what I do, just pay for the $30 ebook. I don't ask people to do anything. It's a way of supporting the channel and supporting what I do. Believe me, I'm not making myself a millionaire from running this YouTube channel. I make between $800 and $1,000 a month off the YouTube channel, and I probably bought like $6,000 worth of camera equipment last year, and I pay a social media manager to help me. I end up losing money, so it's not a profit center. Retta has a half-life of 136 hours, so just over 5 days. So yeah, found out the same way clinicians did. Okay, cool. Got it right. Can you eat a can of sardines instead of fish oil? Sure, if you like those damn things. I would throw up if I ate those things. What's your opinion on the best approach for first exposure to GH? Probably 2 units is usually where I would start off at, and then work your way up. Trend made in some guy's bathtub. Sure, statins, no. Yeah, I know. It just made me laugh. I mean, look, if you don't want to take a statin and walk around with a 300, 400 HDL, go for it. I really don't give a fuck. Live your life. Do you, man. It's like riding a motorcycle without a helmet. You look cool while you do it, but, it's cool until you split your head on the pavement. I really don't give a fuck. Live your life how you want. I'm just trying to help people, help guys from, prevent somebody from not killing themselves when they're on PEDs. Zionic, I'm asking, which day do I log the food overnight? Previous day or the day I'll be starting at 6 a.m.? I would do it the previous day. Would you recommend going off everything except for 250 milligrams of testosterone with an AI when cruising? Would it be fine to remove the AI? I usually leave an AI in. I find that estrogen rebounds when you're cruising. The ratio of test to estrogen, it seems to make you have just play it by ear, see where you're at, see how you feel. But I find that most people end up having an estrogen rebound on cruise. Their estrogen actually goes up when they lower testosterone doses. Animal, I haven't talked to you in a while, my friend. Hello, Paul. I hope all is well. Thank you for the content and transparency and honesty. Much appreciated. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well, too. Test in EQ, France. Taking test in EQ, can you get lean with chicken and rice? Sure, if you're in a calorie deficit. How much EQ is likely to not bury estrogen with test around 1,000 milligrams weekly? That's hard to say. It's individual. Everybody converts at a different rate. Depends on your body fat. If you're leaner, you're probably going to bury your estrogen more. If you have a higher body fat, you're probably going to be safer. Do you prefer Test E over SIP? Yeah, I only use Test E. Kurt is participating in a study. I don't think this is a secret. If it is, I'm sorry, Kurt, I'm ratting you out. But where they're evaluating Test E versus Test SIP as far as potency. Kurt has a theory that Test SIP has a lower peak than Test E does, and therefore probably Test C would be better for probably side effects and for TRT guys and for bodybuilders that are trying for performance enhancement. Test D is probably a better bang for the buck. That's my take on it. People don't understand the value of having information organized and packaged for them. Those are the guys that you don't pay for the information. You pay for knowing what to do with it. It's like, I forget the story. I'm going to slaughter it. You don't pay the plumber $200 to come in and bang on the pipe. You pay the plumber to know where to bang on the pipe. Anybody can look up how to bang on a pipe on the internet, but knowing where to bang and have the experience to know where to bang, that only comes from years and years and years of practice. Also, natiokinase when blasting 1,000 IUs a day. I've messed with it. I don't notice much of a difference. James Smith, love the ebook. Thanks, brother. Attention to detail spa. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate the support. Shoko. Best way to keep your chicken moist after cooking it when you're heating. I am a savage, man. I do not reheat my chicken. I eat it cold. Don't ask me for cooking advice. I'm the worst fucking cook in the world. I'm sure there's other people out there that are better at it than me. I am terrible. I will eat dog food if I have to. 40 milligram of telmisartan drops my BP, then don't take it. Opinion on HRT prescribed extended release 50 milligram. I didn't know they prescribed Anadrol. That's crazy, man. It's a new one to me. Joe Blow, thoughts on Nebido? It's the TRT of my country, 1 shot a month. That is a really long ester. It's probably not going to have a very high peak. I don't know what the specific pharmacokinetics of it is. I mean, it's better than nothing. What's your opinion on a hair safe bro stack dosage for Chinese? There is no such thing as a hair safe stack. There are certain PED, evidence-based PED educators out there that have zero evidence that say that there are certain PEDs that don't cause hair loss. Any androgen can potentially cause androgenic alopecia. Shariro. Hey, Paul, my man, what's up, dude? Let's see. Fixator. Nabivol is great for BP control, but leads to low energy in the gym, especially your leg and back days. Any tips for probably your dose is too high. Talk to your doctor about that. I would lower your dose. Shoko, any things you notice, pros, cons, tips when using HCG, not HGH? I don't like HCG. It always makes my estrogen too high. I don't like it. I don't care that much about my balls. Some dudes are concerned about their balls. If you're trying to get somebody pregnant or maintain fertility, then sure, use it. If you care about the cosmetics of your size of your nutsack, then cool, go for it. But I really don't care. When the berries are small, it makes the twig look big. So who cares? Yeah, definitely snagged your cheat sheet. Great love and follow up the emails. Thanks, man. I'm glad it works. I'm trying to put together some email tracks to give people more information. High converter, been electro to holy shit, yeah. Yeah, some people are high converters. Thoughts on replacement therapy study showing it doesn't enlarge prostate. Any other steroid? I'm not sure what this means. Prostate enlargement now they think might be largely related to high estrogen. They used to blame DHT for it. That's not to say that DHT can't play a role in it, but if you look up the studies now, it's high estrogen. The dudes that end up with prostate cancer, high estrogen is carcinogenic in men, can cause colon cancer, can cause prostate cancer. So the bros out there that are letting their estrogen run wild in hopes of having a higher IGF-1 level, probably not smart for your long-term health. Joshua Perry, my balls are as big as grapefruits. Should I see the doctor or maybe see a prostitute? I've been doing this alone, and I titrate up my doses based on how I feel and run labs at the beginning of blast and mid-blast, and I titrate up based on, that's what I do. I used to have, I'd map my cycles out and have a pretty long-term plan, and I realized that that's just unrealistic. For those things that give you anxiety, you said like DECA and Trend. How do you mitigate or handle the anxiety while you're on those? I just don't use them anymore. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me. I just won't. I refuse to use drugs that make me feel awful. I used to. I used to just slug through it and accept feeling awful. I feel great on test, Primo, Master on GH. That's what I did on my contest prep. I won my pro card with that. So would I have looked a little better on Shrine? Maybe. But it was good enough. My cardiologist has me on X-Forge, 5 milligrams amlodipine in 80 mil. Yeah, the calcium channel blockers work really well for vasoconstriction. I'm going to make a video about calcium channel blockers and some of the other possible blood pressure meds here soon. The only issue with calcium channel blockers, when the dose gets higher, it really fucks your strength up in the gym. And I'm not trying to discourage people from taking drugs. If it's medically necessary, you do what's necessary to protect your health. I've used calcium channel blockers. Calcium channel ion exchange is very important in muscle contractions, and it can affect muscle contractions. And yeah, I'm sure you do, Josh. Can't say that on air. Hey, Big Paul, what's your opinion on halo tested for bulking and building mass? Don't use it. Really, I only see it has two utilities. At the end of contest prep for hardening up or maybe getting a little extra drive in the gym, or for peaking for a powerlifting meet. That's the only thing I can see where it would be useful. My grumpy 75-year-old uncle has prostate cancer. Stock put him on progesterone to send him off to the gym. He must be one hell of a good time. I'm sure he's not grumpy anymore. What's up, Alex? Josh, you always crack me. I really want to meet you sometime, Josh. You got to come to the Arnold or one of these shows so we can hang out. I think you and I would laugh our asses off. Got a favorite oral steroid? Kind of done with those. I will sprinkle orals in once in a while. I think it's one of those things like when you're 25, it's like doing Jaeger bombs and cake stands. That was cool when I was 25. Doing D-Bol and Anadrol at 51 years old is not cool anymore. And neither are Jaeger bombs or cake stands. It's not fun. I just end up feeling terrible on orals. I can do short runs of them. I find that Anavar I tolerate the best. Anavar I did run a little bit of D-Bol this past fall for the first time in forever, probably like 20 years. I crashed my estrogen. I just ran 25 milligrams a day. Got my estrogen back up to normal. But if I want to run an oral, usually it's just Anavar at this point. It's the only oral I would, and maybe Winstrol at the end of contest prep, but I'm really not interested in anything else. I loved Anadrol when I was in my 20s, but now if I take Anadrol, it's like 2 or 3 days in, I end up with horrendous acid reflux. I feel lethargic. I lose all my energy. I just feel terrible on Anadrol. I used to love it. But Anavar just it's the only one that really agrees with me anymore. Is Anadrol and Deca together along with, that's the old school late 90s, early 2000s way of getting huge. That's what the guys did. It's usually tests, EQ, Anadrol, and D-Bol. Probably why most of those guys ended up with kidney disease. But, hey, man, your BP is going to be 100 or 180 over 100, but you're going to get massive. Josh, ever do Frisbee? It holds like 5.5 beers. All right, folks, I am going to wrap this up. We're coming up on an hour. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. It means a lot. It was overwhelming at the Arnold. There was just a line of people to talk to me the whole day. It's really surreal for me having people recognize me and come up and talk about the show. I'm very grateful. I can't tell you, folks, how blessed I am to have the support I do. It means a lot to me. It doesn't fall on it. Well, I guess I should say it doesn't go unappreciated. It means a lot to me. I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I do try to get back to the community where I can. That's why I do these things. I want to try to get back to you guys where I can. I appreciate all the support. It really, really, really means a lot to me, and thank you guys so much. I will see you guys soon. We have the Anabolic Bodybuilding live on Sunday. Shiny, you're welcome. I'm glad to answer your question. Bailey or Drew Bays, high intensity training. Appreciate it, man. See you guys. Joshua, I love you too, man. You are the funniest troll on the entire internet. I almost banned you at the beginning of my stint on YouTube. I couldn't tell if you were an asshole or not, but I think you're pretty cool. Thank you, brother. Take care, guys.